Then 30 people died over the last 5 days in that rash of severe storms. Volunteers from across the country are acting quickly to lend a hand, and that includes here in the metro.
6 News' Brent Weber shows us how some Omaha volunteers are bringing help wherever it's needed.
Mother Nature's wrath has been felt across the Midlands and the South. Disaster relief needed across 11 states, including Arkansas, Mississippi, Iowa, all places where volunteers from the Omaha Metro have answered the call, including a Red Cross team that raced to eastern Iowa after 10 tornadoes touched down in the Hawkeye State Friday.
So sheltering was our key priority, and we made sure we had people at the shelter to welcome them, set up the shelter, give them what they need, address their needs, give them some warm meals, things like that. And now it's going to hit, looks like the same location just 4 or 5 days later. That puts a strain on our team and it puts strain on our resources, but we're prepared to act when we need to act.
And for those of us watching, wanting to do something as a barrage of storms has taken at least 30 lives since Friday, Josh says fight the urge to load up your truck to try and help.
We always have generous people who want to bring stuff to us, bring home-baked goods to us to serve people. The thing is, we're not set up to handle that right now. We have the people there who need to operate the shelter, take care of other needs, so we need our focus elsewhere. There are other agencies who help that, and we'll help point you to that direction.
Offering assistance through one's religious community is one such avenue. Rabbi Katzman here of Chabad Omaha said he was speaking today with a fellow rabbi in need in tornado-torn Arkansas.
When you hear someone hurting, you feel the pain. And when you feel the pain, you have to think, you have to care. And caring is already 50% of the assistance that's needed. Now you have to figure out the other 50%, so what could really be done?
In this case, generators and other goods help keep a damaged school in Little Rock open. And today, something even more simple.
Today is just called and asked for blessings.
And for those looking for a way to help those in need, you're encouraged to call the United Way's free 211 helpline. On your side in Omaha, Brent Weber, 6 News.
Today, Governor Kim Reynolds issued a disaster proclamation for 6 additional counties in response to the severe weather. The governor's proclamation allows state resources to be utilized to respond and recover from the effects of the weather. This is in Appanoose, Davis, Iowa, Jackson, Lucas, and Monroe counties.